Cool, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy NarikChase. In this video, I wanted to talk about the movie They. They was a film that came out in 2002, and it was about these people that were basically being marked and then later targeted and abducted by these interdimensional creatures. And the film does primarily follow this woman and along with some other people that are dealing with the same issues, and the whole time it's about these people trying not to be abducted. I really enjoyed this film back in the day. I thought it was a like pretty good horror film. It was really good in terms of the story, the idea itself. I did like the performances and everything. And I always wondered though, would they ever put out a sequel for this movie? It's a good movie. It's got a really interesting premise. And now some of the CGI is kind of shitty. It is. It is. But there's a lot of great and thrilling moments behind it, and I think that since it left out in the ending that it opened left out on, I think they could make a potential sequel with it. Now I know box office wise, it's supposedly flopped. I'm gonna say supposedly it. I heard it flopped, but that still doesn't mean that there isn't room for improvement. Having said that, you can either do a sequel to follow up the very story that you introduced in the first film, and as well as the rules that you established in the first film, such as if you're a little kid, these creatures come to you and they mark you, and then when you become an adult, they come back and they try to get you. I would not mind seeing a sequel to this film. And I know the title says a sequel or a remake, but I'm going to give an understanding of my thoughts on both of those. First, if it's a sequel, I would like to see the sequel follow someone that was actually related to or had a relation to one of the main characters. I believe it was three characters. It was mainly the one blonde hair woman, but then there was a brunette, and then there was a guy. And I think it was another guy as well, because when that guy, I think he killed himself. When he died, that's what brought all three of them together, and that's how they kind of knew what was going on. So I would like to see someone that's close to those people dealing with this situation, or perhaps have someone that's close to someone that is dealing with this situation. Start off like they did with the first movie, have when there's a little kid, and then when they're adult. I would actually like to see it somewhat in reverse, where you have someone that you love that is dealing with this, and you're trying to save them. Like I would love for that to be an interesting sequel. Now, if you're going to do a reboot, I think if we do a reboot, since the you can kind of play around with the rules and establish the rules a little bit more, because these creatures they didn't like light. So a lot of times they came out to play, it was during nighttime, which is why they're considered night terrors, but they don't really have a specific name. Somebody really ought to just sit there and put them on Wikipedia or Villains Wiki or something and give them a description of what they are. But you do know that they do they stick to the darkness. They do not like the light. But you can play around and make a couple of more rules with them. Like right now, we don't know if these creatures are able to be that can be killed. So we can figure out ways around that as well as better means of defending of characters defending themselves. But should we do a reboot, because a new vision and a new direction could potentially make this idea be spot on. We had films like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. We had another film called what's that one freaking movie? Vanishing on Seventh Street. Like I like movies where it's like the darkness is kind of like the bad guy. Pitch Black, and you have to try to figure out how to defeat the darkness or the creatures that live within the dark. We're not gonna say Alone in the Dark because that was a pretty shitty movie. I'm sorry to say. And Christian Slater, you try, buddy. But I think we should either concentrate on making a sequel or a reboot to it, because I think it does have the potential to be a really good series. And I think it does. It can be a series because unlike the film like The Grudge, unlike a film like The Babadook, unlike the film like Dead Silence, unlike the film Lights Out, this is like it's kind of like a worldwide phenomenon. And I wouldn't mind seeing like somebody been tracking I see a movie where somebody's been tracking these things, trying to figure out how to close the gate because somebody that they were close to end up being abducted or killed themselves or whatever or what have you. But those are just some quick thoughts I'm throwing out there, guys. In the comment section below, let me know, what would you like to see? Would you like to see a They sequel or a They reboots? Me personally, I wouldn't mind even seeing like a series, like a limited series. I should put that up there as well. You know me, I always like want to stretch things out into TV series, but I think it is a good idea enough to be either a movie or a series. But let me know, do you think this should this be a sequel or should this be a reboot or remake or whatever, you know? And also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button, as well as staying tuned for Tuesdays, Sundays, and Thursdays that we do be uploading more videos. And please, guys, go check out the website. There, Chase out.